in my opinion, the most important aspect to your trading and your growth as a trader is your thought process and how you tell the story. And I tell you why. So I've got this dog, right? He's a German Shepherd, okay? His father is a Belgian stud with English and Dutch bloodline. So the German Shepherd that I've got comes from a very high drive bloodline, which means that this dog's energy is through the roof. He bites, he nips, he's super, super amped to work, to learn, etc., etc. Most German Shepherds are, but he is just next level shit, right? I'm paying $2,500 a year to be part of a dog community, especially focused in obedience and protection. So there's like 400 videos, more videos added all the time, and webinars every 2 weeks. Okay. Now, I just want to tell you this, guys, because what I talk about, I practice what I preach. I've been watching a single 5-minute video over 20, 30 times in the last 2 days, just to pick up on the technique that is used from taking a dog from center heeling to left and center heeling to right. Now, remember, this puppy's 8 weeks old. So this ain't like me telling this puppy, go center, go right, heel, do this, do that. Like, the dog don't understand shit. He's only working because of his drive for food, okay? So I have to use my hand to guide the dog in the direction that I need him to go, whilst him being 8 weeks old, still not fully developed his back legs and still don't even have a brain cell in his head yet. I've been working with him now for 9 days. It has been the most frustrating thing that I have done in the last 6 years of my life. The last most frustrating thing that I've done in the last 6 years. This dog is such a challenge, but I love challenges. 2 days ago, I sent a message to the Facebook group that I'm in. And I said to them, what's wrong with my dog? Like, why is my dog not doing what my mentor is doing? Okay. So the dog trainer, my mentor, is doing. So what you guys do to me, right? Or may say to Payam or to Ahmed or to Sahil, right? This is crazy, guys. And this is why I need to tell you, even though it's not related to Forex. And anyway, you guys know how to trade, right? We're focusing on what is most important to your growth, which is this. So I'm like, message the group, and I said, let me just read it to you. You guys want to hear it or not? Should we talk about Forex?
I want to hear it.
All right. Okay. Right.
Yeah, tell us.
All right. So I messaged him. I said, look, I'm desperately trying to be the best at what you teach, and I swear I will never bug you again. I needed an answer to one question. Okay. I said, I'll never bug you again. I said, your pup's drive is insane for food. I said, but I have one question, and I beg you answer me. Should I feed my pup once a day and crate him the majority? You said in your program that you don't need to cuddle and kiss your pup to build a bond. You have so many pups and dogs, I'm sure you can't cuddle them all. So are they in kennels and crates? So what I was trying to do here is this, right? I feed my pup 3 times a day. He's a dog trainer and has hundreds of dogs. A dog only works based on drive or the source that you have that they want. So my thought was, if I'm feeding my pup 3 times a day, he knows that his food's coming. So he's not going to be as motivated for it, or he's not going to want to work for it as much as what I thought was what my mentor is doing, which is putting his dogs in kennels for the whole day, bringing them out once in the evening. And if you bring out a dog once in the evening, what are they going to be like? Hungry.
Right.
Yes. So then they're going to be chasing the food. They're going to do whatever you tell them to do for that food because they want that food, right? So I said, should I do the same with my dog? I says, please, bro, I know what it's like to be a mentor, and students like me are a pain. I'm living what I tell my students not to do, but I'm not going to look for the answers to everything because I will work that out. I just need the answer to these questions. So when I said to him that I'm living what I tell my students to do, which is taking what he has already told me in the program, which is feed your dog 3 times a day and do this and do that. Now, what I'm thinking is, because my dog's acting differently, is that he's holding something back from me, right? Like, you guys sometimes, not all of you, may think Rox is not telling us something, or there's something that Rox knows that I don't know, hence the reason why I'm not getting the results. So I am putting the blame or taking the responsibility or accountability away from myself and looking for the answer elsewhere, okay? Now, what am I doing in this situation? I said to him that I'm living what I tell my students not to do, which is looking for the answer to what? Everything, okay? Now, I had to stop and really think about this, guys. I had to stop, and I sat down and I thought about this, and I said, it's 9 days. The dog don't have a brain cell in his head yet, so I need to be easy on him. Okay, he's like a newborn baby. Secondly, I said, if somebody else can do this, then is it really my dog or is it me? So every training session, guys, every training session that I've done, I've recorded on my phone with my phone stand on a tripod, and I've recorded the sessions so that I can watch it back and pinpoint what I was doing. I watched them back and I realized that I am stiff like nobody else's business. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I look like an absolute plonker. So I went back and watched his video, that same video I told you, and I watched it 5 times. And the guy is like this. Like this, literally. The guy's moving. He's fluid. He looks like he's dancing. And I was like, it's not my dog. It's me. I said, let me try something. So I went to the fridge and I got some processed chicken. I won't ever do it again, but I just needed to test the theory. Okay. And when I got some processed chicken, I came back into my living room. When the dog smelt it, he went absolutely schizo. Started dancing with him, started moving with him. And guess what? He was working to perfection. Called my wife. I said, I've clocked it. I figured it out. I said, I've been searching here. I bought another course for £150 from another dog trainer who was talking about this drive and that drive. I said, it was on YouTube all day. I was doing this, but I've clocked it. She was like, what? What's the answer? I said, I just need to put more energy and just keep it simple. The dog is feeding off of my energy. Just keep it simple. You know what I did? Went online, ordered him the best raw meat food. It's processed into patties. You cut it up into cubes. It came a day later. And guess what? The dog is insane. Do you know what I whittled it down to? Stop looking for the answer to questions that don't even need to be asked. There's not an answer for everything. It is as simple as more energy, the right source, and the right movements from me. From me, guys. From me. What is it for you guys? Just be patient. Not every day is a trading day. Stay disciplined. There are times you're going to feel down. There's times you're going to feel like you want to do dumb shit. There's times that there's going to be situations where you get into a great trade and it turns against you. But just stay disciplined. Be consistent. It will take time. If you know you have a concept that works, guess what? Just be consistent. That is the answer to your question. You need nothing more, nothing less. And avoid doing dumb shit. Be aware of your triggers, what things make you do dumb shit, and just avoid them. I've never felt this beat up. I've never felt this deflated. I've never felt this tired. I've never felt this mentally exhausted over these last 9 days in the last 6 years. But I welcome the challenge. And guess what? Today's session may not be 100. This evening session may not be 100. But guess what? I can 1000% tell you, I will not fall behind in putting in 100% commitment to this process for the next year. Fact. Mark my word. It is a fact. There is no way this dog is getting to 1 year old and I have not put 100% into him. And you know what is so crazy? He's a German Shepherd. His back legs don't get as strong as Belgian Malinois' back legs because of their hips and the way their back is. And he's just a little bit slower whipping his bum around. I have to accept that. When I watch the videos of this dog, my mentor's dog, guess what? His 8-week-old pup is whipping his ass around this way, whipping his ass around this way. And I'm like, I'm comparing. I'm saying, why is my dog not like this? Have I got the right dog? I even said it 3-4 days ago to my wife. If this dog don't pick himself up in the next 4 weeks, I said to her, do you know what, Mush? I might have to let him go. What is wrong with me? Why am I blaming the dog for my efforts? The dog don't know shit. Do you understand? I need to stop comparing. And I need to realize one very, very important point here. I'm new to this. I don't have as much experience as my mentor. My dog is a German Shepherd, so his growth is going to just be just a tiny bit slower. So I've just got to be more patient. That is it. There's no point me getting frustrated. It ain't going to change anything. It's not going to fix anything. It's not going to make anything better. I've just got to be more patient. So now I've got to stop looking at YouTube. I've got to stop comparing. I've got to stop putting too much expectation on him and just work him when he's happy. And that is it. And you know those sessions with that dog? It's 3 sessions a day for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, guys. The rest of my whole day, I'm sitting there thinking, I want to train this dog. I want to train this dog. I want to train this dog. Thinking that the more I do, the better he becomes. But it's not. The more I do, the less engaged he's going to be because he gets tired quickly. He'll get bored quickly and many other things. Same with you with trading. You're excited. You're hungry. You want to trade. You think the more trades you take, the better results you're going to get. The quicker you're going to get to the goalpost. It's not. It really isn't. And I'm learning this every single day in every aspect of my life. And I believe that I was blessed with this dog because I wasn't supposed to get this dog until December, remember? But it's my birthday on Saturday. And my wife said to me last week, I want you to go and get your dog. She knows how important this is to me. But I just want to make this point though. It's 3 sessions a day, 5 minutes each, 15 minutes out of my whole day. Best believe me, guys, that is not the only effort I'm putting in. Out of those 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, I'm studying the content, watching the videos over and over again. I'm practicing my technique. So I'm standing up, I'm doing it without the dog. I'm learning to understand the dog and my connection, understanding him and myself, so that when I come to the next session, hopefully, guess what? I've been able to have a different perspective or shifting perspective or figure out a better way to move or whatever else. Shitloads of work. When you guys are doing what you're doing, your job is to do what? Show up, execute, and after that, it's done. That doesn't mean you're not a trader still just because you're not on the charts. You now got to work on wanting to go back to the chart, but not going back to the chart. You've got to work on not looking at your charts every 15 minutes. You've got to work on your negative mindset of whether I'm going to be able to make 10% when I do my challenge. You've got to work on searching over social media, looking at other people's trades and their concept. You've got to work on comparing yourself to other people. Your job as a trader is 24/7. This is not just, oh, let me take 5 trades today. Let me take 26 trades today. And if I finish in the positive, it's a victory. That's not a fucking victory. That's bad habits because your job is to show up, execute, and leave. Do you understand me? That is it. At least in the beginning, 1 step at a time, 5 minutes at a time, 1 trade at a time. You don't get better by executing 100 trades. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to try to implement the right process, the right approach, the right technique in increments, slowly, daily, 1 step at a time. I don't care how bright you are. I don't care how quickly you pick this up. In fact, I don't even care how disciplined you are. If you try to run before you can walk, you're going to be disappointed.
Exactly that. It's not a sprint. It's a fucking marathon.
100%. And mark my word, if that is a trait that you can develop over a period of time, I swear on my life, there is nothing that can ever conquer you. Absolutely nothing. And when you start to force it, or you start to take too many trades, or you start to sit on your charts for 6 hours a day, guess what happens? It becomes a chore. And that is what I'm finding again. It's a very humbling moment for me, guys. I know some of you might not be dog lovers, but I want you to just don't even look at this as me talking about a dog here. This is a process. Do you understand? That unless applied correctly, I could raise a dog who will be an absolute monster that can cause, I'm not talking ripping up your chairs, cause absolute disaster. If I don't get my shit together, which I have to maintain it though. But if I don't get my shit together, I'm going to create an absolute terrifying monster. And that's my fault. So I have to respect the process and take 1 day at a time. Fall in love with the process, for real.
Yeah, exactly that.
We're human beings, okay? Forget the word trader. We're human beings. This process that you guys are on is a learning process. Now think about this. When you were back in school, how long were the lessons in class? 8 hours a day split into what? 1 hour lesson?
Half, 1 hour reading, 1 hour this, 1 hour that.
Then you have your break, then you have your play, then you have your lessons, then you have your lunch, then you have your lessons, and then you have your break. Let's even go even further back. When you're in reception or you're in nursery, the children don't go in and sit down and learn maths and English and science and sociology and everything else. What do? They learn through play, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When you get older, even when you're into sports and you go for coaching lessons, what happens? You train for a little bit, play your game. Train for a little bit, play your game. Okay? This is how it is. Let's never, ever forget we are still the same person. All of us are the same person we was from we were young to where we are now. The only difference that's changed for most of us is we work 9-to-5 jobs. And 9-to-5 jobs now have become what, for most of us? A chore. It's mandatory, but it's become a chore where we are used to doing what? Working 8 hours a day. And if we work 8 hours a day for the whole month, we get what? Rewarded with our salary, or we earn our salary. Agree?
Yes.
So now we've gone from learning in increments and in stages with short breaks in between to now 100% committed to 8-hour shifts, if not longer. So now our conditioning is changed. Most of us now have that conditioning that if we can apply the same effort that we're putting into our jobs, surely at the end of it, we should earn our reward, our money, our whatever it is we're after. When you take that mindset into trading, most traders are doing what? Sitting at their charts for hours and hours a day, executing stupid amount of trades on the weekly basis, taking that same mindset they're in now of 8 hours of work a day to their trading and expecting what?
To get the results faster.
You can't blame them. It's how they're conditioned now. The majority of traders are trading in that fashion. If the majority of traders are displaying these same behaviors, but yet the majority of traders are still failing, then what is the answer to the question in terms of the effort that you need to be putting in? Clearly, it needs to be the total opposite. The less you put in, the more you can get out. Because trading, unfortunately, is super, super exhausting. And when you take an exhausting activity with the hope that if you put more effort into it because of the grander things you can get, it's almost like it becomes an addiction. And this is something we need to start to move away from, guys. As a trader, we're just human beings. There's nothing special about us. We're just human beings. Our focus usually lasts between 60 to 90 minutes of committed focus. And for most, it is still too much. Everybody wants more for less. This is the problem. Everybody thinks that they're entitled to more for less. There are people that are desperate, that are in debt, that have no future or feel like they have no future ahead of them. And when they learn about this, it becomes what? A dream come true. They take the mindset that they've been conditioned with, moving from young into the working world of work hard, get results. And then you have to think about the other aspect of working hard but being wrong 60, 70% of the time. It is not natural to work hard, be wrong 70% of the time, to be able to expect that the 30% is going to produce those future dreams or those goals that you're after. Also, when it comes to money, money has an immense amount of value to people that don't have money, that are desperately scraping their money, that feel like if they just had an extra 500 to 1,000 and put it in a trading account, their life will change, that chase after credit cards, payday loans. So now the value of money is not just paper. It has become the be all and end all to their life. What happens? They invest that, and that creates what?
More pressure.
More pressure, fear, greed, too much attachment to the immediate outcomes. So many different things. We could talk about this for hours. And this is why I talk about it a lot, okay? For traders, if you want to succeed, you got to be shifting this and this more forward than you are excelling in your concept or learning your strategies. The reason why traders cannot focus on this and this is because they're too busy doing what? Pissing about on the charts, changing strategies, blaming market makers, looking for special zones, looking for round numbers, looking for the holy grails, spending way too much time on YouTube, comparing themselves to the person that made the most amount of money on the funded account. Wasted energy, wasted time. And I'll be real with you, you're just not going to succeed like that. Being hungry and having a strong desire and will to want to succeed is not going to get you to where you need to get to. Please, Rox, please let me just come and work with you in the office. I really want to be a trader. I'm so dedicated. I'm more hungry than anybody else. I go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and I sacrifice everything. Okay. How many trades you take yesterday? 6. That's your answer. I don't care how hungry you are. I don't care what your desire is. Majority of us here, 99.9% of us would love more. But unless you're willing to accept and identify that what you do on this chart has fuck all to do with your future, then you're just going to keep going around in circles. What you need to be focusing on is this and this. You get that right, you can conquer anything. And that is why I suggest show up, execute, walk away. Build an attitude that you don't care about the results. I don't care about the results. I don't care about the results. Accept that it's going to take 12 weeks, 90 days of doing this without doing any dumb shit before you can even decide to take a challenge, to think about money, to think about cars, to think about paying off your debts. You've got to be able to prove to yourself that you can master yourself. Do you know what that leads to? Confidence and a belief system that cannot be shattered. Faith in the things that you cannot see. And then when you do that challenge, you will not fear losing 2% in a row. When you take that challenge, You will not fear being in drawdown. You won't ask me if it's the right time to take the challenge. You won't ask how much percent I should risk. You're not going to ask what pairs are the best pairs to trade. You're not going to care if you get a trade for the whole week. If you haven't eliminated those doubts and fears because you haven't built that confidence and that belief system and the faith that you need to help continue to push you forward and to propel you forward, to continue that momentum that you need to get over those hurdles and around those obstacles, then you're finished. Finished. What I would be working on now, if I was working a 9 to 5, is sitting in my job being the best employee there is. The best, because that will have a ripple effect on your trading result. Mark my word. But if you're sitting at work and you say, "Oh, I hate this job, it's shit. I can't wait to get out, and guess what? When I become a better trader, I'll be able to do this in a few months and I'll be out." You're just creating a fallacy. It is not going to happen. Discipline starts at home. Patience starts at home. I don't want to make my bed, I can't be bothered. Then you're going to fail as a trader. "Oh, do you know what? I've quit smoking for 3 days, but fuck it, can't be bothered. I want to go back." You're going to fail as a trader. Keep getting pissed off with your wife and your husband. You can't control your temper. You're going to fail as a trader. You can't be bothered to wash up your dishes. You're going to fail as a trader. You sit on the bus on the way to work, on the train to work with your head down because you can't be bothered. You're going to fail as a trader. It starts at home. I'm not a motivational speaker, guys. I'm a realist, okay? I'm a realist. This is not motivation. This is me being real. If you want to succeed as a trader, and if it's not trading, but just something in your life that you really wanted to do, you better pick your head up. You better look at the world and you better say, "Fuck you, I'm going to conquer all." That is what you better be doing. That better be your attitude. Because guys, if it's not, and you're timid and you're sitting there with your poverty mindsets and you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're making excuses for yourself, the only way is down, baby. And I want you to try this. Just for the next few days, when you have your phone in your hand, I want you to stop looking down at your phone. Stop looking down at your phone. Because when your head's down, you're lowering yourself constantly. You're looking down. Then when you look at things online and you compare yourself, you're like this. "I want to be like that." Stop doing that, guys. Just try this for me once. I want you to get your phone and I want your head up. Bring yourself higher. Just change this. Just try it, please. It's not easy, but try it. Change your head like this. And when you scroll through it and you see it, don't say, "I want to be like that." Say, "I am that. I am that. I am that." Okay? Please try it. It will change so much. Pick your head up, straighten your back, and be a motherfucking boss.
Amen.
Be who you want to become now, even if you don't have it, and the rest will follow. Because once you have a mindset that cannot be broken, guess what? This won't phase you. You see these little things right here? These little candles that go up and down, they can't phase you. They can't phase you because you're too much of a motherfucking boss. You're only coming to the markets to use the markets for your own benefit. Be patient enough and stop allowing these stupid candles to get to you. I promise you the rest will be history.